Exactly.
In many of these cases, you have people who have been already arrested and convicted of crimes. In fact, Mayorkas actually sent a memo to the ICE agents saying that being convicted of a crime is not reason enough to not allow somebody in the country.
How about this?
That is wrong.
This is how we are.
If you've been convicted of a crime, get out of here.
We have. Well, that's welcome.
But how about this? If you committed a crime, get out of here. However, if your only crime, which is not a crime pursuant to the Supreme Court, is being here illegally, you deserve the benefit of due process. And if you cannot say yes to that, that is one of the more anti-American things I've ever heard.
And this is how Republicans are drifting us towards
county sheriffs to cooperate.
A regime
they do cooperate. All you got to do is call.
But the thing is that you have people that are.
Hold on, guys.
What you're not understanding is that cities like mine are actually taking people who are convicted of crimes. They commit another crime. They release them back onto the streets. They are not turning them over to ICE for deportation. That's why we have the crisis that we have. That's why we had 2,000 crimes in my city alone.
So the Democrats decided that they want to die on this hill of protecting criminal illegals, right? And it's becoming more blatantly obvious the more and more stories that come out, the more and more they try to peddle these like narratives. Oh my God, administrative error. A new court finding this evening, the Trump administration said that it had mistakenly deported a Maryland father to a notorious Salvadorian prison due to an administrative error. Democrats are protecting criminal illegals because they see criminal illegals, actually, they see illegals as Democrat voters, and they'll do anything to protect Democrat voters. It's the same reason Democrats worry about racism or sexism, because they have this perception that women and black people are Democratic voters. Majority of them are, but this is the same process here with the illegals. So they'll find any way to justify them being here. Only problem is that Maryland father, who was actually an MS-13 member, right? And this is something that was discovered. The Atlantic, Trump deported a poor father from Maryland to El Salvador prison. Reality, he was an MS-13 gang member. We don't hate the media enough. And this is one of the reasons why many Americans see that the American media landscape, especially mainstream media, is a problem. During a bond hearing, Immigration and Customs Enforcement stated that a confidential informant has advised that Albergo Garcia was an active member of the gang MS-13. Bond was denied. He was getting deported. But these judges are coming out here trying to protect illegals, right? They're coming out here trying to undermine Donald Trump's authority on the border. They don't want Trump to manage the border. They don't want Trump doing nada on the border. And it's so crazy that the liberal, right, the leftists, sorry guys, I'm looking around, they get mad about mass deportation. Yes, mass deportation will be ugly. That's why you don't allow 15 million illegal immigrants to enter the country in 4 years while doing nothing except repeating the border is secure. Blame the people who allow it to happen, not the people who's trying to then clean up the mess. And this is something that Democrats don't seem to understand, is that they are the reason why mass deportation is happening. When you hear stories as recently, an ICE member arrested a criminal illegal after his trial in Boston, and he got held in contempt of court by a Boston judge. These judges are going out of control. And it seems like the left are using rogue judges to protect, I guess, their constituents, which is illegal immigrants, which is foreign actors, because at the end of the day, Democrats only look out for themselves, and they will use anyone as a pawn to justifying their ends, which is to gain political power. And I want to show this clip here of the Democrats essentially grandstanding and doing these pointless speeches where there's no real, and this is the funny part. This is why the Democrats are so unpopular, is the fact that they don't do anything except virtue signal.
It is a feat of longevity, I'm not sure what the point of it is. You know, he didn't stop any legislation. He didn't hold up any nominations. He said it was a moral moment. So I guess, you know, as a Republican, I infer that he thinks half the country is immoral. And that kind of messaging to me is exactly what's been plaguing the Democrats for the last, certainly in the last election, in the last several months, is this idea that this hatefulness towards your fellow American just because they chose a different party or voted a different way. And our own Harry Enton reported this morning that congressional Democrats have a 21% approval rating. So in some respects, there's nowhere to go but up. And Cory Booker, I think, is trying to fill a vacuum. There's no real leadership nationally of the Democratic Party. Obviously, they don't have any confidence in Schumer. They've had a lot of radical voices out there who are trying to take control of the party. So maybe this was an attempt by him to try to, wrest control of at least the spiritual leadership of the national party. I don't know if it'll work.
And then Democrats and progressives will, like my critics, will get mad when I say that the Democrats are the party of America last, right? They fight. The enduring message of the left, this is according to Scott Jennings, the enduring message of the left is illegals to illegal alien is just get here or fight like hell to keep you here, no matter what you do while you're here. And this is a distinction that it seems like Democrats have a very hard time bridging the gap. If it's an American citizen, you stay in the country. If you're an illegal alien, you get deported out of the country. It's a very simple concept. And they make up all these stories. They create all these narratives. Oh my God, look, don't you find it unacceptable that Donald Trump is just blindly deporting people who they believe is part of MS-13 without any evidence? Then you find out he's actually is part of MS-13. Do they retract the story? Not at the top of the headline, because they want you to believe perception and then act on that perception. Right? And this all goes down to this motive that I always tie to the Democratic Party. You're not defending illegals because of some grand morality or grand virtue or principled position. You're only defending illegals because you know they benefit your political power, your political interest, because a lot of these illegals are sympathetic to your cause. They're aligned with you because they see how much you do for them. Democrats tell illegals, get in this country and we'll fight like hell to keep you here. Why? That's what Americans are asking. Why are you doing that, Democrats? They can't vote for you. They can do nothing for you. Oh, it's for a long-term gain where hey, these illegals have children in this country. They become American citizens. And then we have a group of American citizens that have a personal interest in maintaining illegals in this country, essentially aligning themselves with the Democratic Party. And in the short term, Democrats benefit with illegals being in these sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, by helping increase their population numbers, which justify getting that state more congressional seats. This is the game that Democrats are playing in the short term and in the long term. All I'm saying is I see the game. You have a political benefit in maintaining illegals. Stop pretending that you're doing some virtuous thing. Oh, we need to defend this poor father who got deported by mistake. Oh, woe is him. No. Making up these false equivalencies, false perceptions for what? To play on the sympathy of the American people. This is gaslighting one-on-one. I want you to play this short clip of Brandon Gill calling out this very tactic that the left seems to love doing to manipulate voters and to manipulate the perception of the American people.
This is coming from the same Democrat Party that ran an entire election trying to convince the American people that men can get pregnant and that defunding the police makes us safer. And now they're on to the next absurd idea. It's a party that is completely rudderless. They have no message. They have no leadership. And now they're trying to convince the American people that it's good for them to flood their communities with illegal alien terrorists who are now on their way to voting. That's their message. This is coming from the same Democrat.
And you can't deny the facts, because if you look at the actions, all the Democrats' actions follow that motive, follow that line of logical thinking. If Republicans put a law that says, hey, only American citizens are allowed to vote in elections, and every Democrat vote no against it, what does that tell you about the interests of the Democratic Party? That they somehow benefit from having illegals in the country. And Democrats, you can't deny this. Leftists, you can't deny this. Progressives, you can't deny this. Because you can't justify, hey, why we should have illegals here? Oh, Kenny, we're not replacing ourselves at population level. We need migration. Look at all the articles the left put out about how you don't need children. Having children is selfish. Oh, you climate change. We shouldn't have kids because of climate change. And in the same breath, oh, we need illegal immigrants in here to help with our declining population. So you create a problem, then you use migration as a solution for the problem that you created. Democratic thought, progressive thought, left-wing ideological thought. Because the whole point is is how can you create a problem and then present illegal immigration as a necessary solution, even if the trade-off is you lose some of your culture, you lose some of your societal cohesion, you get people unwilling to assimilate to the native values, principles, and cultural kind of sentiments. But it's necessary because we have a declining population number and we need to fix this issue with immigrants that happen to 66% of the time vote for Democrats. Changing demographics. But you say, oh, that's white replacement theory. That's white replacement theory. Oh, it's a lie. What? It's the same game that the UK is playing right now. And we see the results of that. You see the internal strife that's going on in the UK right now. People getting stabbed to death in the UK. Oh, we banned guns. Yeah, but now y'all want to ban knives too. Crime is out of control in London, I hear. But you complain about the US of A. And this is a problem that Democrats seem to not recognize. And I think many Americans are not catching on to is the fact that these people, all they care about is justifying power and control. All they care about is rigging the game in their favor. All they care about is leverage. They create a problem, then they present something as a solution that happens to benefit their political ends. So here in the segment, I want to play this clip because I find it interesting that you're going to have Scott Jennings kind of bring up this point about how American citizens get treated differently than illegal immigrants. And it's a very common sense point, but the leftists on these panels are getting mad. So let's check out the clip.
Isn't this exactly what we denounce other countries for doing? Not giving our own citizens, when they get wrongfully detained around the world, our own citizens the due process that they deserve?
Well, I think multiple things could be true. Number one, I delineate between American citizens and everyone else. If you're a U.S. citizen, I put you in a different category.
On due process, that's not a distinction that the law makes.
Then if you've come here and broken our laws and committed violent acts or murdered and raped and whatever, I put you in a different category. When it comes to the law
and due process, that is not a distinction.
Well, if you'd like to argue that Trinidad Aragua should have the same rights and that you get as an American citizen, go ahead.
I would change the Constitution.
Hold on a second. The argument is
you're saying that a terrorist can walk across the border and become effectively a U.S. citizen?
That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on. Scott, look at me. Okay.
Yeah, just give the host
you and I are
Welcome
talking.
back.
You and I are talking. Okay. What I'm
disrespect
saying
me.
to you is that the law does not make a distinction between U.S. citizens and everybody else when it comes to being accused of crimes. Are you saying that should not be in place? That if you happen to not be a citizen, you get to be thrown into a jail with no process at all?
I'm saying that these people are effectively terrorists. They walked across our borders illegally.
Okay.
They are violent. And I don't really want them
but
here.
But doesn't the government have to prove that they are who they say they are?
Correct.
That's
all we're saying.
That's all.
I think.
I mean, you can say it.
Eventually,
it's not a concession that you like Trinidad Aragua. It's just a question of the basics of civics in this country.
I think eventually the government will have to show all of its cards on everybody that they have detained, deported, or done anything to in this arena. But there is no doubt that the Trump administration is rounding up effectively terrorists who came across here illegally, committed horrific acts, and do not need to be in this country.
They are doing that, perhaps, but they're also doing a lot of other things, too. And that's why the courts are asking questions about it.
You see how they always try to cast a level of doubt? Perhaps, maybe. Where was this doubt with Biden? When Biden was letting all these people in, hey, these letting these people in unvetted. Oh, no, that's not true. You hear this? And then you hear, oh, this is why the courts have to review. The reason why the Democrats love the courts reviewing is because there's a lot of the people that they put into power, right? And the funny part is, like, a lot of these things that the media is trying to use is just ways to cast some type of doubt or assertion that, hey, they're doing this stuff illegally. This is fake. This is not real. Huh? Like, this is the funny part, and this is why they love the legal system. Because this is the only true way that the left really have left to resist what Donald Trump is trying to do. So it's fine to let 15 million people unvetted into the country where we know a lot of them, at least 400,000 of them, were criminals. Trump is trying to deport a lot of them. MS-13 is designated as a terrorist gang, right? Interpol is looking for them. Trump said, hey, we're prioritizing these illegals first, criminal illegals first. And liberal panelists on CNN are trying to cast doubt or try to give them some due process to keep them in the country for what? You broke the law. What's the punishment for coming into a country illegally? You get deported. So Trump say, yo, on top of you coming to this country illegally, you committed crimes in this country. Bye-bye. You've been accused of human trafficking. Yo, at the end of the day, you need to go to your country. Bye. And he made a process where, yo, you're going to get held in a territorial jail because you broke into this country. Trump's trying to change the incentive. And I think this is the argument that the left has missed. The left always talks about they want to change processes. They want to change how things are done. But when Republicans want to change how things are done, they always have something to say. They always got some criticism. But what's the alternative? What's different? Because we did it your way. The border was secure. It wasn't secure. Look at the chaos that happened over the last 4 years when it came to illegal immigration. There was a stat I remember in New York. 75% of the crimes in New York was being done by illegal immigrants. In New York, during Biden's heyday, the last 4 years. And Democrats didn't think it was a problem. Oh, no, the border is secure. Americans commit more crime. Yeah, there's just disproportionately, there's always going to be more Americans than illegals in this country. Duh. So on a bound of probabilities, of course, Americans are going to commit more crimes. There's just more of us in a country. But to bring a total number, 75% of crimes done in New York was committed by an illegal immigrant, New York Democrats had no problem with it. Trump deports somebody and they find an angle that they can hit Trump at, they jump on it, even if it's not purely true. Oh, this was a father. Oh my God. They wrongfully deported a Maryland father. Here's the take that Donald Trump's administrators are taking on deportation. And I think that this is one of the reasons why Democrats lose elections. This is one of the reasons why they lost the election. I know they won the Wisconsin Supreme Court, but they got washed here in Florida. Even though they spent a lot of money, they got destroyed here in Florida. Y'all welcome. Republicans, y'all welcome. But this is the kind of uncommon sense. Like, this is why I think Americans, like, as much as we want to complain about politicians, it's a two-way street. It's just on us as it is on them. We have to properly support our end goal. Our end goal is we want change in this country. Only one side is willing to change the system because Democrats benefit from status quo currently. So Democrats have no political incentive to change anything about the current system. So what American voters have to do, we have to vote for a party more likely, more willing to want to make changes to the system, and that's currently the Republican Party. And the fact in Wisconsin that we lost the Supreme Court race, hey, it happens, right? But this is why it's important for us to be vigilant, because you can't let this party have any grounds. You see them. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Oh, we won an election. Oh, we only lost by 10%. Trump won this district by 30%. But they don't tell you that the turnout was not at the same degree as it was during the 2024 election. But Democrats are running with it as a win. This is proof that Trump is losing the approval of the American people. Come on now. This is the ridiculousness that the left will do to continue justifying their opposition. Cory Booker, you just saw he broke the record for having the longest speech on Capitol Hill. Saying what? Who knows? Saying a whole lot of talk but doing a whole lot of nothing. And that's the Democratic message. They do a whole lot of talk but a whole lot of nothing. And then they pretend they're doing something for you. Get out of here. But, I digress. Let's hear what he has to say, and then I want to wrap up with one more clip.
This guy raked leaves. He licked his ice cream cone on vacation with the family down at the beach. Like, how nice of a guy can they make this guy out to be when he's been designated a gang member and a trafficker?
Jesse, you and I have never received in our lives as much positive press
I know.
as this MS-13 gang member has received. We couldn't get headlines like that if our lives depended on it.
Yeah.
So let's just go over the facts here. He is an illegal alien. Fact one, what do you do with illegal aliens? You deport them. Fact two, he's an MS-13. What do you do with illegal aliens who are also in a transnational terrorist organization? You deport them more quickly. Oh, and on top of that, he's implicated in human trafficking. Deport, deport, deport. This is who they're going to bat for. What are we supposed to do? Buy the guy a house, get him some free health care,
Yeah.
maybe let him run for Congress?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. You're supposed to do all of those things.
This is this is the Democrat Party.
And their actions validate that perception of them, that brand of them. And this is something that Democrats have to Democrats is going to have to pick a struggle. You're for Americans or you're not for Americans. That's it. You're globalist first or you're American first. Democrats have to make that distinction very clear. They can't keep trying to walk this little fine line that they've been trying to do so far. Trump has made his position clear. I'm America first. The world be damned. I don't care if the world around, I don't care if Canada goes into a recession because I'm putting tariffs. I got to look out for America's interest. Democrats, pick. Either you're going to compete on Trump on American first side, or you're going to compete with Trump as a globalist first side. Because this is globalism first, not Americanism. But, I digress. Let's wrap up this clip.
This is who they stand for. This is who Cory Booker stands for in 2025. They stand for illegal alien predators that are in transnational cartels. That's the Democrat Party of today. We will win this fight all day, every day.
But the border was secure. Secure for Democrats, it seems like. God damn. I don't understand this party, man. I don't. I really don't. Like, it seems like they expect the American people to do things in their best interest, and the American people get nothing in return but useless platitudes. And then liberal reporters will go out of their way, make this narrative about an administrative error, say a bunch of useless crap, and then when people do the digging, oh, he's an MS-13 member. And the media has nothing else to say. This is the hill they're really willing to die on.
The error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error. The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking. And fact number three, this individual was a member, actually a leader of the brutal MS-13 gang, which this president has designated as a foreign terrorist organization.
And that's grounds to remove him. But Democrats, because they don't like Donald Trump, they think, oh, just because Donald Trump's president of the United States and he designated MS-13 as an international terrorist organization doesn't mean that he's allowed to do this stuff and deport him without due process. Make it make sense. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think about the economic outlook of the economy? Do you think Trump's recent moves like Liberation Day, reciprocal tariffs, right, voter IDs being passed in Wisconsin, right, Florida helping GOP keep their majority, right? How do you feel about the fact that Americans seem less engaged in politics? And do you think that's more of a us problem, or the fact that like these things weren't as advertised as much as a national election is, and people weren't aware that special elections was going on? Because I think this is a big concerning problem that I have, is that even though the Democrats have a low approval rating, if people do not turn out, you can give a party that have a low approval rating power. And this is why I say I think it's crucial that the American voter is vigilant and observant of what's going on, what processes they need to be aware of, because we can let an unpopular party gain power merely because we're not paying attention. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts and your perspective on this matter. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.